The federal ministers, through their various ministries, have significantly exhibited capacity to influence progressive change generated by vision, produced by a conviction, and ignited by purpose and a commitment to serve. On our part, on the ministers' platform, we are much concerned about their performance, efforts, and genuineness to deliver on their mandate. Let's give you the progressive report from the federal ministries in recent times on the ministers' platform. Welcome. Ministry news captures significant happenings across federal ministries, agencies, and their parastatals. Let's get you informed on ministry news. The federal government this week certified Nigeria safe, assuring that terrorists, bandits, and their cohorts would never hold Nigerians to ransom again. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, gave the country's security a clean bill of health at a joint press conference recently in Abuja. Speaking on the security situation in the country, the minister said as far as the daunting security challenges are concerned, the worst is over, noting that the military and other security agencies have succeeded substantially to restore peace and calm across the country.
This is the first in a series of briefings that we hope to make a regular event in the face of the security challenges facing our great nation. We can tell you that the worst is over, and never again will terrorists and bandits and their cohorts hold sway in our country. President Muhammadu Buhari's directive to the military to crush those terrorizing our citizens is working. Hence, peace and security are gradually being restored to the country.
Still in the same development, the Minister of Defense, retired Major General Magashi, has lauded the gallant performance of the military in the onslaught against criminal elements in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The Defense Minister made this assertion at a joint World Press Conference held at the Radio House, Abuja on Monday, alongside with his counterparts in the Ministry of Police Affairs, Interior, and Information and Culture. Magashi further said that the troops of Operation Hadinkai in the northeast had gallantly denied ISWAP and the Boko Haram terrorists freedom of coordinated attacks as they continue to suffer huge casualties, depletion and depression, covering operations across the 6 geopolitical zones. The Minister of Defense noted that the criminal elements had been substantially degraded and defeated in the last 4 weeks.
With the utmost support of the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, modern platforms and equipments are being procured for the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, and the Nigerian Air Force, whilst recruitment and quality training and retraining is being carried out. Reassure this extreme gathering and indeed Nigerians that the Ministry of Defense and the Armed Forces, in conjunction with security agencies, remain committed and resolute in our collective efforts to facilitate the federal government drives for guaranteeing the peace, the safety of lives and property across the country. In addition, this present administration is doing everything possible to ensure the safety and security of all citizens, I therefore urge all Nigerians to support the armed forces of Nigeria in its efforts towards ensuring the security to the nation. The Ministry of Defense is fully on top of the situation, and all hands are on deck to ensure these threats are contained.
And still on security matters, the Minister of Interior, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, has disclosed at the Joint World Conference in Abuja that President Muhammadu Buhari has mandated the armed forces to quell the gale of insecurity across the country. He said the president gave the marching orders to the security chiefs to move against bandits and terrorists, stressing that they must be smoked out while the security challenges facing the country must end by the end of the year.
The security agencies will to be challenged and likely degraded groups and persons keeping the threats. What we face mostly now are flashes of cowardly attacks from the wrong of groups that have been routed in one direction or the other, moving to another to be the false impression that they have been formed. Our ultimate goal is to eliminate them all together and resolve total and lasting peace over every inch of the Nigerian soil. And that's anticipated we are going to do, inshallah, by December of the year.
The federal government has approved a sum of 829.8 million naira as revised estimated costs for the rehabilitation of a road linking Anambra and Enugu states. The Minister of State for Works and Housing, Umaru El Yakub, disclosed this to State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. According to him, a contract for the rehabilitation of the road was originally awarded in 2018 because it is a strategic interstate road that had heavy traffic. He said the project is expected to be completed in 6 months.
It is indeed a very strategic road. And one of the essence of this augmentation is not only because of revising the rates to meet the challenges that the contractor had been facing, but also to ensure there is more longevity, because another innovation had been introduced that would further strengthen the road. It will give it more longevity, and therefore it will withstand the traffic.
The federal government has set aside another 766 million naira for the forensic audit of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC). This was disclosed by the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Umana, after the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting in Abuja on Thursday. He said the inauguration of the NDDC board will only take place when the outcome of the forensic audit report it instituted is concluded in order to smoothen the work of the ministry. The Federal Executive Council has approved the signing of a bilateral air services agreement, BASA, between Kuwait and Nigeria. This was disclosed by the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, on Wednesday, shortly after the FEC meeting in Abuja. The minister noted that the signing will be done in line with the provisions of the International Civil Aviation Organization (ICAO) of the 7th of December 1944. Hadi Sirika, however, noted that the signing will open up opportunities for air transportation between the two countries.
Federal government is committed to establishing this carrier. We've gone very far. We've found a partner. We are negotiating. We'll come to council and get the full business report approved, and then we'll come here and declare. Nigeria is certainly the candidate for a national carrier. It will happen, and it will ease your transport needs, inshallah.
The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, said the federal government suspended the proposed 5% excise duty in the digital economic sector as directed by the Ministry of Finance because it could upset the recorded progress in the sector. Giving explanation recently on the federal government reversal of the decision at the inauguration of a presidential committee set up to review the proposal, he said he personally rejected the policy and advised advised President Muhammadu Buhari against it in view of the negative effects it will have on the digital economy. According to him, the introduction of the excise duty will jeopardize the successes already recorded within the industry, arguing that the ICT sector was already overburdened with multiple taxations, both at the federal and state levels. Meanwhile, contrary to the pronouncement by the Minister of Communications that the 5% telecom levy had been suspended, the Director General of the Budget Office, Ben Akabweze, has maintained that the tax remains in effect as the Budget Office of the Federation and the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning had not been advised about the suspension. The federal government has said it will disburse the Cabotage Vessel Financing Fund (CVFF) soon to enable indigenous ship operators to favorably compete with their international counterparts. The Minister of Transportation, Muazu Sambo, made this known when he visited the National Inland Waterways Authority (NIWA) area office in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Describing the CVFF as a low-hanging fruit, the minister said it will support maritime activities, which is the gateway to the nation's economy, adding that as a country, if we get our acts right, the maritime industry can replace revenue from oil. The CVFF was established under the Coastal and Inland Shipping Cabotage Act 2003. As of July 2022, the fund has risen to $350 million and domiciled with the Central Bank of Nigeria.
It is indeed a low-hanging fruit. I will do everything within my powers to make sure that that fund is disbursed to Nigerians as quickly as possible, so that Nigerian ship owners can increase capacity.
In a related development, fresh hope for a national shipping line for Nigeria has risen as the Minister of Transportation, Muazu Jaji Sambo, has received an interim report on the need to establish a strong and sustainable national fleet by the Nigerian Fleet Implementation Committee. While receiving the report in Abuja, the minister, who was full of optimism, affirmed that the maritime sector has the potentials to boost the GDP of the country. He argued that if the NNPC can support 100% the projected plan, it can be realized in 2 months. The federal government on Tuesday formally took over the ownership of King David University of Medical Sciences, Uburu, Ebonyi State, pursuant to a presidential promise by President Muhammadu Buhari in May this year. During the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between the government of Ebonyi State and the Ministry of Health, the Minister of Health, Osage Hanire, said the federal government had to take over the university because of its strategic importance to the overall healthcare plans of the federal government. On his part, the governor of Ebonyi State said the idea of the university was born out of the desire to save the life of the people, serve them well, and stem medical tourism. The federal government has said it will not sign any other agreement with the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU) it cannot implement. The Minister of Education, Malam Adamu, disclosed this Wednesday in Abuja during a meeting of Pro-Chancellors and Vice-Chancellors of federal universities held at the National Universities Commission. Adamu said President Muhammadu Buhari warned the government team involved in the negotiation with ASU against signing an agreement that government will not be able to fulfill. The minister, however, said the meeting of the heads of universities conveyed at the instance of NUC became necessary and urgent due to certain misconceptions and misinformation in the public domain regarding the ongoing strike action by ASU.
Government and ASU have no option than to continue to work until our universities are open. They are those to students who clearly are also victims of the crisis. In circumstances, therefore, all councils and senates of our universities are enjoined to rise up to their responsibilities. We must together continue to work to restore our public universities to where they were in the 60s and 70s.
He said the federal government could only afford a 23.5% salary increase for all categories of the workforce in federal universities, except for the professional cadre, which will enjoy a 35% upgrade review. The Federal Ministry of Power has announced the resumption of Mr. Temitope Fashedemi as its new permanent secretary, taking over from Mr. Nebolisa Anako. The permanent secretary pledged his commitment in ensuring improvement in the power sector and in delivering on the ministry's mandate, promising to continue from where his predecessor stopped. He, however, enjoined the staff to work as a team to better position the ministry in order to achieve its mandate. And finally, on ministry news, the Federal Capital Territory Administration has approved the construction of a new permanent orientation camp for the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC) in Kwali, Abuja. The Minister of the FCT, Musa Bello, represented by the Secretary of the FCT NYSC Governing Board, Adiza Kabir, disclosed this on Tuesday in Abuja at the NYSC National Governing Board meeting with chairpersons of the state governing boards. Bello said a new secretariat complex was underway as part of the FCT administration's effort to ease the operations of the NYSC in Abuja. Governance at the federal level through the office of the presidency is serious business. Let's now find out what has actually transpired in recent times from the presidency. President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday in Lagos urged Nigerians to believe in the capability of the Nigerian armed forces to safeguard and bring long-lasting peace and stability to the country for the safety of Nigerians. Declaring open the 12th Nigerian Navy Games, Lagos 2022, the president assured Nigerians that the armed forces will continue to sustain their operational tempo to contain the security challenges in the country. President Buhari will also commission the newly constructed Nigerian Navy Sports Complex, commended the Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, for investing in sports development.
The construction of this sports complex has provided a standard venue for the Nigerian Navy to host major games, as well as appropriate venue for naval personnel within Lagos to use for training and other recreational purposes. I am therefore confident that besides the conduct of the games, the Nigerian Navy and its personnel will continue to make good use of the facilities in this complex.
President Muhammadu Buhari Wednesday re-echoed Nigeria's commitment to promoting peace and harmony among Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS countries. The president spoke at the presidential villa in Abuja when he received updates from former President Goodluck Jonathan on the face-off between Mali and Cote d'Ivoire over detained Ivorian soldiers. Dr. Jonathan is ECOWAS Special Envoy on the situation in Mali. President Muhammadu Buhari will visit Imo on September 13th to inaugurate projects completed by Governor Hope Uzodinma-led government. Imo Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Dr. Declan Emelumba, discloses on Wednesday in Owerri while speaking with newsmen after the weekly meeting of the State Executive Council. He said that among the projects the president will inaugurate were the 36-kilometer Owerri-Olu dual carriageway, the first phase of the 53-kilometer Owerri-Okigwe dual carriage road, and the constructed Imo House of Assembly complex. The federal government on Wednesday argued that President Muhammadu Buhari will not withdraw the names of some embattled nominees for resident electoral commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) based on social media trials. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, disclosed this to journalists shortly after the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He also urged Nigerians to allow the process to take its course, including the imminent screening of the REC nominees by the National Assembly. And finally, from the presidency, the Federal Executive Council, FEC, Wednesday approved an executive bill that will give legal backing to the National Social Investment Programs, NSIP, of the Buhari administration. With the approval of the FEC, the executive will now send a bill to the National Assembly, which has the power to make such laws. The NSIP is one of the flagships of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration, with the ultimate aim of tackling poverty and hunger and lifting millions of Nigerians out of poverty.
The performance of the NSIP since inception in 2016 to date, under the administration of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, through the 4 cluster programs of Empower, JEEP, Conditional Cash Transfer, and the National Homegrown School Feeding Program, have been appreciated by Nigerians. Therefore, government decision is very apt. This is a poor bill. It's a bill that will go a long way in addressing the issues of poverty, vulnerabilities, and all other issues that affect our poor and vulnerable.
Nigeria's communications and digital economic sector has witnessed significant revolutionary reforms and policies that has broadened communications and digital space in Nigeria under the current minister, Professor Isa Ali Pantami. Let's share with you his experience and efforts on talking with the minister. Today, Nigeria has witnessed a revolution in the telecommunications and digital economy sector of the country. And of course, this to a large extent has changed the fortunes of the Nigerian economy. And of course, one ministry that is saddled with the responsibility to shape the destiny of this country in this sector. We're talking about the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. So let's welcome the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Isa Ibrahim Pantami. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
To propel the country towards attaining a vibrant digital economy, the federal government, through the ministry, unveiled a roadmap in the form of a national digital economic policy and strategy, 2020 to 2030. What is the success story of this policy so far, and what are the challenges?
Thank you very much, my brother, for giving me the privilege to discuss about our journey so far with regards to digital economy in Nigeria. And I welcome you and your esteemed team to our office here in the Digital Economy Complex in Bora, Abuja. You could recall that we were appointed as ministers officially on the 21st of August 2019. The first thing I did was to have an engagement with the CEOs of parastatals under the ministry to identify what they were implementing and the gaps, and to come up with new initiatives that will make the sector more vibrant. After my engagement with them for at least 1 week, I discovered that what was missing in Nigeria and in the ICT sector then was digital economy. And digital economy is strongly recommended to have its own ministry or to have its own special office for its coordination by many institutions like World Economic Forum, European Union, and many more. And that is why in countries like Scotland, like Thailand, and many more, you will discover there is a Ministry of Digital Economy. After the review, I went to His Excellency, Mr. President, to brief him. And he was convinced that there was a need to have a ministry that will champion the implementation of a digital economy in Nigeria. Based on his directives, I sent a proposal to him, and it was approved on the 17th October 2019, and it was presented before the Federal Executive Council on the 23rd October 2019. A day after, that is 24th October 2019, we commenced the implementation. And that day happens to be the National Digital Economy Day in Nigeria. We commemorate and celebrate and create awareness about digital economy on the 24th October of each and every year. I set up a team of experts from government, industry, from academia, using the triple helix model, where we brought all stakeholders together to come up with a policy. I led the team that developed the policy, particularly these three key stakeholders: government officials, industry, and academia. The policy was reviewed and enhanced significantly, and His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari launched and unveiled the policy on the 28th of November 2019 at the International Conference Center here, Abuja. When the policy was being crafted, the implementation commenced immediately, because there are key issues that are very static. Wherever you go, they must be accommodated. Also, we developed another roadmap. There are two different documents. There is National Digital Economy Policy and Strategy for a Digital Nigeria, acronym INDEPS. And there is a roadmap for the implementation of INDEPS. That roadmap brought out some key initiatives to be implemented so that we can achieve the key objectives of the main policy, the actionable plan. In the policy, there are 8 pillars. Number 1 is developmental regulation. Number 2 is digital skills and literacy. Number 3 is solid infrastructure. Number 4 is service infrastructure. Number 5 is digital services promotion and development. Number 6 is soft infrastructure. Number 7 is digital society and emerging technologies. Number 8, indigenous content development and promotion. These are the 8 pillars, and these 8 pillars cover almost 99% of what the sector requires. And all these policies today are being implemented. Developmental regulation, we have developed so many regulatory instruments through the regulatory institutions and parastatals we supervise. We have many regulatory instruments developed by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. Many have been developed by Nigerian Communications Commission. We also have regulatory instruments with National Identity Management Commission. These are the regulatory bodies we have, and it is their mandate to be guided and directed to develop the regulatory instruments. We use the word developmental in order to change the perception of our citizens. Most probably using the adjective developmental, we could be the first country in the world to introduce what we call developmental regulation.
There are significant achievements your office has made. Let's look at your ministry moving to accelerate the deployment of 5G services in the country with the approval of an enterprise licensing agreement for Microsoft products and clearing up of C-band spectrum. Can you tell us more? Because it's a major landmark achievement. And to what extent will this move change the industry and the economy?
Microsoft is not playing any role directly in 5G, but is playing a significant role when it comes to providing digital services and also digital skills and literacy. The president of Microsoft, Brad Smith, was in Nigeria less than 3 months ago. He visited President Muhammad Buhari, and after that he came to my office here. We had a meeting with him. We have an agreement with the Microsoft to train young Nigerians. Based on the agreement, as part of their corporate social responsibility, they will provide digital training, advanced digital training and intermediate trainings to a minimum of 5 million citizens in Nigeria for free. This is indeed very commendable. The recent agreement is not for the deployment of 5G, but we discovered that Many institutions of government are purchasing Microsoft license in their activities, NNPC, CBN, many more. And huge amount of money is being spent in that manner. And they are doing it alone. Sometimes there is too much duplication. Sometimes the price is not negotiated the way it is supposed to be. So Microsoft has different agreements. If your institutions want, they can purchase it one by one. If you like, as a government, you can have an agreement with Microsoft. You negotiate the price so that you can have universal service agreement that each and every institution of government that wants to purchase Microsoft will leverage on that agreement you have and purchase it. With this, firstly, it will reduce costs. Based on our computation, it will reduce government spending by 36%. That is minimum, the amount being spent. Number two, it will enhance the quality. Why? Because Microsoft, if it is true government, it will continue to provide support after sales. And thirdly, also, you will be able to avoid duplication. By avoiding duplication, you will save another huge amount of money beside what I earlier mentioned. And there was an agreement like or similar to that in 2006, that is, which is around 16 years ago, but it was not sustained. But now we want to sustain it. That is what brought about the whole argument. It's not in any way saying that each government institution must patronize Microsoft. It is optional. As we all know that 5G is not just a technology today. It is just like a revolution in the digital economy sector. It has been deployed in so many developed countries. In the US, there is 5G. In the UK, in South Korea, for example, there is 5G. In so many European countries, they have deployed 5G. Our journey for the deployment of our 5G in Nigeria commenced since the time I became a minister. Officially, it commenced around October or late September and early October, a month after our appointment. Through NCC, we granted the approval to MTN to kickstart the process of trial for 5G deployment in Nigeria. So we did the trial. I personally did the trial here in Abuja on the 25th of November 2019. We did the trial in Abuja and few other cities like Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Ibadan. 3-month trial. After the trial, we reviewed the report of the trial with all the major findings from the trial, and the report was very positive. Early 2020, many of our citizens were worried, linking 5G to COVID-19 pandemic. As a responsible government, no matter how you think people do not understand a technology, you cannot ignore their genuine complaints. We put the process on hold and directed NCC to engage our citizens and create more awareness, and at the same time, we also make more consultations. So as I'm talking to you today, we are almost done with the 5G trial. We have auctioned 5G in Nigeria, and things being equal, 5G 4 will be deployed in Nigeria in the next 1 month. Most probably around August, we will have 5G for commercial services. And there are so many benefits. It will significantly drive our digital economy because of that high quality and very fast broadband that is very high. We will require that in our major cities like Abuja here, like Lagos, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Kano. These are some places where you need high quality broadband with very high speed. So I think it's very important, and 5G will allow you to have real-time communications in education, in health. With 5G, even remote surgery can be conducted. A surgeon or a medical doctor could be in the US or in China or in Dubai or in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, will be able, with a patient in Nigeria, you will be able to conduct a surgery. With 5G, most probably, you will not have much problem with your family going for holiday. 5G will allow you to have a virtual holiday. You sit at home in Abuja or in Lagos with your family using augmented reality and virtual reality. You take them for a holiday virtually to London, to New York, Washington, to Dubai. Wherever you want to go, you can do virtual holiday. So these are some of the benefits of 5G. In agriculture, is applicable. It will enhance digital agriculture or smart agriculture.
So that's it on Talking with the Minister for this moment. The Minister's platform will continue in a moment. On our ministry, agencies and pastors in focus segment this week, we bring you facts you need to know about the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons is a strategic agency under the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management, and Social Development. The Commission, NCFRMI, formerly known as the National Commission for Refugees, was established by Decree 52 of 1989, now Cap N21, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, NCFRMI Act, to manage the affairs of refugees, migrants, and internally displaced persons in Nigeria. It was established to fulfill the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 319-4 under Article 35 of the United Nations 1951 Convention. Initially only for refugees, the Commission was expanded by President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2022, of which its mandate was to include migrants and internally displaced persons, and this was the beginning of the expanded responsibilities of the Commission. Over the years, the Commission has approached its mandate of providing care and maintenance as well as durable solutions to all its persons of concern, including refugees, internally displaced persons, stateless persons, and returnees, among others, with every sense of responsibility. The cornerstone of refugee operation is the provision of political protection and material assistance necessary at least to guarantee their basic human rights. In this regard, the Commission provides them protection, food and non-food items, skill acquisition, and other forms of empowerment aimed at ensuring that they regain their dignity. They are also assisted to enroll in the National Health Insurance Scheme and to obtain convention travel document. Ultimately, the desire of the Commission is to ensure that the refugees are either assisted to return to their original homes voluntarily, integrated into their host communities, or outright resettlement in the third countries. Available records as of September 2020 indicate that Nigeria plays host to about 65,000 Cameroonian refugees, while the figures of Nigerian refugees in Cameroon is 116,409, Chad 15,621, and Niger 167,588 respectively. On internally displaced persons, IDPs, the Commission has over the years embarked on the construction of a massive housing program under the IDPs Resettlement Cities project, which has commenced in Katsina, Borno, Zamfara, and Edo State, consisting of 600 units of furnished two-bedroom in each of the selected states, with provisions for educational facilities, business activities, worship places, as well as adjoining farmland. Similarly, the Commission, with the support from the Central Bank of Nigeria, has also commenced Project Reliance, which is designed to equip displaced persons with skills for better livelihood. Under this project, 50 different skills and vocations have been identified for beneficiaries to choose from. The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons is currently under the able leadership of Iman Sulaiman Ibrahim, who is currently the Federal Commissioner of the agency.
Together, first of all, do the roads, do the railway, just like what they are doing. We are saying, when you have complete all this,
2 year rent, not 1 year rent. You understand? Some landlords do that. They prefer to collect 2 year rent so that maybe if you rent a year, you'll not be able to move out.
Due to the fact that there are no strict laws that governs or guides tenants.
For like 2 years now, and I have not seen one person ask me to pay 1 year.
Yeah, I like this city because of the opportunity, job opportunities. That's why I like the city. And secondly, it's a peaceful city as well.
This is where the center where you have investment and people can buy and sell or do their investment. But if you go to some other states,
if they are able to decentralize the issue of power generation and transmission, I think we will be able to solve our power problem. They should decentralize the issue of power generation and transmission and allow people to generate and transmit. We will solve the problem.
For federal government to make a difference now, or for us to have a stable power supply, there is need for Nigerian government to diversify, you know, not just having the thermal power stations as only source of power supply in Nigeria. There is need for solar energy, there is need for wind energy, there is need for so many other alternative sources of power supply. You know, in doing so, that will guarantee constant power supply in the nation.
When the federal government do that, they want to give everybody prepaid meter. I think that won't be better. So it be like network MTN and this Etisalat something. So if they can do it like that, I think government will make their money. But the way they are making it that they should disconnect your lights and you go and pay, I don't think that some of the money is enter to another person's pocket.
I think the new minister should at least study carefully what are the problems actually facing the power. If you should have other alternatives, I think there will be improvements. If the state government can generate their own power, I think it will be better.
Achieving good governance through the various federal ministries is fundamental to economic growth, political stability, and security. And so join us again next week as we keep you informed about progress reports on the Ministers platform. Remember, think Nigeria.